I know you are brilliant with the voices, and I've been very kind to you because I haven't got too many voices in this one, and that was quite deliberate. I felt so sorry for you for the other book. It's 125, I think, different characters,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there's only 124 in this book.
Yeah, but
No,
there,
no, not true, not true.
but in this book, the challenge was they were all Russian, so
Yeah,
I
for
had to
sure.
have
Yeah, for
lots
sure.
of different. I mean, a lot of people can do a Russian accent, but to be able to do many different ones
Yeah,
and to
yes. Oh,
separate them, that was the challenge with this one.
and you've
Because
done a
accents,
fabulous, absolute fabulous job.
James,
said Olga.
please don't go. Just now there are some things we need to discuss.
I was so surprised I shouted down to Dmitri, "I will catch up with you later. I'm just running through a sequence with the computer." "Don't be too long or you will be here all night," he said, laughing. The main seal door closed, and the workshop fell to silence.
You do know that I need to fly.
Said Olga. "Yes, Olga," I replied. "And I desperately need to fly too. Your controls are just so different. And at this stage, I'm just not confident." Olga replied.
James, don't worry. Remember, it's me that will do the flying. You just have to tell me what to do.
"Dr. Tony Miller, good to see you again.
And you, Graham.
You're looking very well, and we're talking about this wonderful book, My Love Affair with Olga. Where did the idea for this book come from?"
To be quite honest, I really have no idea. I always come up with the names of the books or the titles of the book quite late into the book, so I don't worry about the title and then write the book around the title.
That's a good
So
idea.
that's how it started.
That's a good idea. That is why every Seinfeld episode starts with a "the." So it'll be like The Bubble Boy or the what, because he didn't want the writers wasting time coming up with titles. He wanted them right in the shows.
Yeah,
So
sure.
just get
I can
on and
understand
write
it.
a book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good advice for authors if there are any authors watching this.
Well, I
Now,
think if a new author is looking to write a book, I think they spend too much time worrying about the title, worrying about what's going to be on the front cover, worrying about the chapters. I mean, just get on, write it,
yeah.
and then it all it does for me, it all drops into place quite nicely.
Yeah, because those other things you can change later if you're not happy, and you can. Yeah. And there's a good chance, I'm guessing, I'm not an author, so I don't know, but as you make your way through the book, a title would suggest itself to you as you go.
It certainly does.
Yeah,
But
and did that happen?
trying to work out what's going on, though, is another matter.
Well, this book has everything. I mean, it's a romance, political intrigue, suspense, cutting-edge technology. Which part was hardest to write?
Well, none of it really. I suppose the thing that I had to get absolutely right was the names of the towns that they were in, and trying to get a really good handle on times. How long would it take you to get from one place to another? Because that's all in the book. It's based in Siberia to start off with, and getting from one town to another is in the winter. It's not jumping in the car and going off. It's arranging a convoy and actually going in a convoy, and they take days, not hours.
Yeah, and the country is so vast as well, and the conditions are not favourable for
Unbelievably
transport.
cold.
Yeah, and doing your research to work out particularly the time between a couple of places, that did get you into a bit of bother, didn't it?
Well, there was a very kind gentleman who emailed me and said, the distance between this place and this place is something like, say, 20 or 30 hours. And looking on the map, it looks so close. And it's, of course, it's across country, and it's blowing a gale, and it's -45. And it's just a different ball game. And he was so helpful. He gave me loads of distances and directions to different places. Then this nutcase, absolute nutcase, starts writing to me and says, you're obviously an American spy. And, I'm reporting you. Well, it used to be called the KGB. It's now called the FSB. He said, I'm
Yeah.
going to report you because you're a spy and Russian citizens should not be giving you this information. Well, I wrote back and said, I'm an author, and I'm not American, I'm English. Um, and it's just not true. And he said, well, you're bound to say that because you're a spy. I couldn't stop him. Pages and pages and pages of stuff. And then it started going on to Facebook. So I got Facebook to block it. And I just said to him, I'm not going to reply to you anymore. I said, because really you are irritating me and it's not true what you're saying. But thank you for being a good Russian citizen. Don't bother to reply. And that was more or less the end of it, I think. But then I got the wind up, Graham. I really, really worried if chap has got hold of the SSB and
Yeah.
told them I'm a spy. I mean, I didn't want a sushi delivered at 11 o'clock at night with a guy in a radioactive suit, passing it to me. So
Yeah.
I sent a copy to the Russian embassy in the UK and to the FSB in Moscow.
Right. To come clean and tell him exactly what was going on in case
Absolutely
this
right.
guy got the wrong end of the stick and was saying things that
Yeah.
had. I mean, let's hope he was just a nutter. you know, let's hope he
Don't
wasn't.
start, Graham. I put
Okay.
this one to
All
bed.
right.
I don't want
All
it to
right.
come up, don't want it to come up again. But it is a really, really fascinating book because you're right, it's got so many different things in it. And if you can work out what's going on before chapter 24, then you are a genius.
There are a lot of twists in this book, twists and turns. And one of them, I don't want to give too much away,
Yeah,
but there is a bit of a surprise with one of the characters who turns out to be not what you think they are.
exactly. That was very well put. Very
Yeah.
well put.
What gave you that idea? I don't know how much you want to elaborate on this. I don't know how much of a spoiler you want to give.
Well,
So,
I really wanted people, it is a very, very gripping book. But it's quite a technical book. And I thought, just as you might be thinking, oh, there's so much technical information in this, I don't want to know. You suddenly get the shock of your life, think, oh my God, you know,
yeah.
how's all this going to happen? And how's it all going to work? And,
Yeah.
and, how's he ever going to explain this to anybody?
Yeah.
And it's really, really, I think, quite good fun to read it. And then it goes on and on with one twist after another.
Yeah. And the character, for those who don't know anything about the book, the character of James is British. He's an engineer more than a pilot, though, isn't he? Really?
Yeah,
Is
sure.
that fair?
He's
Yeah.
he's an AI engineer and an aircraft engineer, and he's led, without being rude, he's led a pretty boring, sheltered life. But his whole life is avionics, and then he gets made redundant. He gets the chop very quickly because at that time the RAF were actually trying to cut back. There were government cutbacks at that time. So, he was made redundant sort of overnight. And then he made this chance meeting with a Russian engineer and decided to, contact him. And the story evolves from there. And he goes to Russia to meet this guy. And then the rest of the whole book is all based in Russia.
Yeah. And he becomes quite a Russian asset, really, for, PR, as we call it now. Maybe some would say propaganda even,
Yeah.
but without him, they wouldn't. It was a match made in heaven because for him, his life his life in Britain wasn't worth hanging on to. His relationship was over and whatever, and so he's kind of reborn over there. So it worked for him, but the Russians got to tap into his expertise as well, and I thought that was a very clever way of writing it, so that it was. The suspension of disbelief was much easier because you go, well, okay, I get his motivation, but I also get how the Russians might.
Yeah.
You're not going like, as if. You are going like, well, yeah, this is feasible.
Yeah, well, it was like a marriage made in heaven. The British, we didn't want him because he was redundant and his whole area was closed down. And the Russians just desperately needed, in this particular facility, somebody they could lock away, because he was locked away in this place for 2 years.
Yeah.
Somebody that they could lock away, wouldn't be missed, and would help them with their technological advances, which she was able to do with
Hmm.
a lot of help from some very talented people.
Yeah. And all of the characters that you write are three-dimensional. You can, for me, having to read and act it out, there was a lot to work with each character. But the character of James, I found probably, he's the second most fascinating character in the book. I'll get to the most fascinating character in the book in just a second. But where did the character and the inspiration for James come from?
It was all in a dream. I've mentioned this to you before. When I write, I usually think about roughly what I'm going to say and where the storyline's going. And when I go to sleep, I actually dream it. Then I have to do some research and make sure I've got all the facts and figures right. And that's how I write. I just write at night. If you say, right
So,
when I'm
so
asleep.
not just the plot and the twists, but the depth of the character comes to you. The character
Yeah, yeah,
speaks to you
sure.
in
Yeah, sure.
wow,
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
wow.
sure.
So he came
Yeah.
fully formed.
Yeah. Yeah, he was
Wow.
fine. He was. I didn't find him hard actually. I thought he was more or less what I'd imagine an RAF technical guy to be like.
Yes. Yes.
Very quite easygoing and always willing to try things, try new things, and that's what the whole book is about. And you were quite right at the beginning. Most of the stuff in this book is actually happening right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of AI, and in fact, my favorite character, which I was going to get to, in the book, is the AI is Olga the plane. The
Yeah.
plane, because the AI is so advanced that the plane, she has a personality.
Yeah. Well, this is very true of AI. If you look at and forget the robot type thing, if you think of AI as a supercomputer, it can hear, it can speak, and it can see. The only issue that AI has, and this is very true, is that AI is not that tolerant. And that comes across with Olga. She
Yes.
always seems to be very, very helpful, but there's a little line that, you just can't cross with her.
I
And
suppose
she
though,
gets,
if you were that advanced and that superior to the people you have to work with,
yeah, yeah, sure, yeah, sure.
tolerance would be quite difficult.
Well, it
So
is, it is, and
you
it
know,
comes over. It comes over, you know.
yeah. And
I mean, this is not giving anything away, but there's a piece in there where the plane is parked in a very palatial garden, and there are pigeons in this garden and a cat. And one day he gets into the plane and he says to Olga, he said, it's very quiet. He said, where are the pigeons? And he said, they were very disrespectful, James, and I had to kill them. And then he said, what about the cat? He said, well, the cat was a distraction. And I thought I might as well kill the cat as well. And this is the sort of thing that AI does. Works out logically what needs to be done and just does it. And
but
that's,
to
I
us
think,
humans, they come across as a cold. Well, and that when I read that scene, it was like, my goodness, she's just a cold-blooded killer. But then I remembered, well, she's AI, and that's logically
that's
where
right.
she's at.
That's right. That's right. And I
Yeah.
think that's as AI has developed and is developing, I think that's the problem that we're all going to have. That with AI, there is no tolerance at all. It's either it's okay or it's not okay. And if it's not okay, AI can sort it out.
Yeah. Now, the AI of Olga, is she so advanced? Because her and James have a relationship. Is she capable of the emotion of love? Does she love James?
The answer to that is,
She
I think,
says
yeah,
so. Yeah.
I think that's it. I think she realizes, the AI realizes that it's got to have a really good interface to get the best, out of humans.
Yeah.
And I think that she respects James because he always does what he says he's going to do,
Yeah.
which is usually what she's told him to do, actually. And
Yes.
she respects that, and I think I don't know if you'd call it love, but she does actually seem to be in love with him, and she
Yes.
blows him kisses. Now, where does
Yes.
that come from? Out of a computer, where does kisses come from? But, she respects the fact that he looks after the plane and very careful with it and very polite to her. And she likes it. She likes it a lot.
Yeah, I think I picked up that what she liked about James was that he had a respect for the duty that he had
Yeah,
to each mission and for what he
yeah,
was about, which
yeah,
which would come
absolutely
from
right.
his
Yeah,
engineering and military background. And I think
yeah,
that's why she, or it felt to me, I'm talking on behalf of an AI here. In fact, an AI you wrote, but it just she felt so real to me as a character, and I found her
yeah,
endlessly fascinating. She was my favorite character in the book. Do
yeah.
you believe that AI will get to the point where it feels emotions as strongly as love, or perhaps even love one day?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I think the question you've got to ask yourself is when those emotions come over, are they really, an AI emotion, or is AI fooling us with what we want to hear? And I think that's going to be the difficult thing. Is AI really telling you the truth? I mean, like when Olga says she loves him and blows him a little kiss. I mean, does she know that he really wants to hear that? And that's
Yeah.
why she's doing it. Or is it, part of her development, her social skills development?
Yeah. And I know you've written about this in other books to help businesses, not fiction books like this
Yeah,
one, which is a lot of fun. You've
yeah.
written some serious books. Do you see where we're at now as AI as a force for good or for evil?
Well, that's a $1 million question, isn't it? Um, the thing is, AI is actually out of control. The only person that will probably admit to that is Elon Musk. I mean, Elon Musk is probably the cleverest guy on the planet, like him or not. But he said that he really, really doesn't know where AI is going now. It's just
Mm.
developing itself, and it does all sorts of things that we like. Like particularly medical things. It solves medical things. It brings medicine to market much faster. It can design cars in a fraction of a time that
Mm.
engineers could do it, and doesn't make mistakes. But where it's going to end up, I think the human race has got to be very careful with AI because we're lazy, and because it can keep solving problems. We're happy to let it keep doing it. But there will come a time when somebody's really got to say who exactly is running things,
Mm.
and it will be AI. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about it at all. I mean,
Yeah.
America's already got. I mean, if you saw the film The Terminator, and they had that shield. Well, that America's got that now, and it's run by AI. It's completely run by the computer. There is no human intervention, and you can't get to the computer. So that shield around America is already there, and there are already fighter planes that have nobody in them at all. And there's no little 17-year-old sitting with a joystick controlling the plane. Once the plane takes off, it's on its own, absolutely 100% on its own. And they've
Wow.
tested against, America have tested it against their best pilots. Can't touch it.
Wow. Wow.
Can't get anywhere
Yeah.
near it. It's just so fast. It's so quick. It's so clever. But the only thing, yeah, this is true. The only thing is, when it lands on the aircraft carrier, it can't park itself. Isn't that strange? It can do all these marvelous things,
Maybe it's
outshoot,
female.
outmaneuver, but it can't
Maybe it's
actually park
female.
itself into a parking bay. They have no,
Yeah.
seriously, they have to plug in this remote lead. I mean, it looks pathetic. They plug in this lead, and the guy has to walk in front of it with a little joystick, and the thing's following it. I mean, you've got this supersonic multi-billion-dollar plane, and at the end it gets plugged in, and there's some, technician walking along in front of it with the plane following him.
Now, Olga would not stand for that. Olga, the
No,
plane in your book
no,
with the
no, no,
AI,
no,
would not stand
no.
for being that dependent on humans. I'm sure if, yeah, she must see humans as an unnecessary expense, not only
Yeah,
monetary wise, but just waste of time and whatever.
yeah,
Yeah, it is an interesting thing because, all we can look to learn lessons is history, probably. And we're an advanced civilization meets a less advanced civilization, it never ends well for the less advanced civilization. You know, ask the Australian
Yeah.
Aborigines or the
Yeah. Sure.
Native
Sure.
Americans how that worked out,
Yeah.
and we might have created accidentally something that we're going to suffer the same way because they are. I don't know. Back to the book, though, Dr. T. The story moves to Moscow, and there's quite a bit of it set in Moscow, and there's quite a few twists and turns and surprises in Moscow when that happens. You give quite detailed accounts of the places that the characters visit. Do you regularly visit Moscow? How did you research that? I mean, it's quite detailed.
Never been there. Never been there. And I'm not a spy. But you can find all this out. You can find all this out on Google Maps, and you can research. You can research things pretty thoroughly. But all the places they were really exist. All the roads they walked down, you can look on Google Maps and follow them. You can follow them into the cafes they went to, into the restaurants they went to. That's all possible, and that's quite good. If somebody wants to be a super sleuth and track them, you can actually do that. Actually do it in the book.
Well, they felt real. I mean, I was imagining being there. I could feel how cold it was and, just the atmosphere of... And I've never been to Russia, so I don't know. I mean, I know you're well-travelled, but
Well, what is interesting, I work, not a lot, but I do work with Russian groups. And the interesting thing, I've never been to Russia. They always want to come out of Russia and have a meeting or a conference, or me run a conference for them outside of Russia. So I've never been there. I think if I was invited to Russia, I'm not so sure I'd want to go now. just in case I have to answer questions by the KGB or FSB as they are.
I wouldn't be so bothered about going. I'd be more bothered about being able to go home.
yeah, precisely. I might get an opportunity to visit this facility and probably never come out again.
Yeah, because for all we know, this book, you may have touched on some real things that they are working on, and they might want to know how you know so much about the subject.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. But there's a lot of research gone into the book.
Yes. And how long did that take? And did you do that first before you wrote it? Did you do it as you went?
No, I did it as I went. Yeah, well, I knew we had to get to this place which you can pronounce and I can't pronounce. I've actually written it down because I can't pronounce it. It's Novo Nazimozo.
Yes,
which is in Siberia. I find it almost impossible to pronounce. But, I had to find out where this place was, the distance from one place to another. And the Trans-Siberian Railway, we think of it being sort of really old and horrible. It's absolutely a phenomenal train. And it's on time to the minute.
Wow. So we could learn a lot from the Russians.
Let's say that.
Well,
but so getting all that research is absolutely, I think it's essential, because I found with another book, if you put a plane in there was a plane that they were using.
The Osprey? Are we talking?
Yeah, the Osprey. Yeah. Very good, Graham.
I loved your other series. It was great. Yeah.
If you get the model wrong, you're going to get some clown that's going to be onto you. It's not called a B. It's the Osprey. It's only C1. So I learned a lesson there.
Yeah. But it does, for those in the know, I suppose it would slightly spoil the book. So you've got to get it right. You've got to do your due diligence. Yeah.
Sure.
And how, we've worked on many books together. We've done business books. We did a lovely series, a military series. And this one has got military connotations too. How did you find the experience of turning this book into an audiobook?
And you've taught me a lot on this. They're quite different. And the front of the book had to be altered, because one of the things I've learned, that if people are going to listen to something, they need action right at the very front of the book. And if the book is reviewed, which it has been, they tend to review the first 100 pages or the first 2 chapters. So you've got to get something in the front of the book that's quite grippy. And I know you are brilliant with the voices, and I've been very kind to you because I haven't got too many voices in this one, and that was quite deliberate. I felt so sorry for you for the other book. It's 125, I think, different characters.
Yeah.
And there's only 124 in this book.
Yeah, but
No,
there,
no,
but it,
not
but
true,
it,
not true.
but in this book, the challenge was they were all Russian, so
Yeah,
I
for
had to
sure.
have
Yeah, for
lots
sure.
of different. I mean, a lot of people can do a Russian accent, but to be able to do many different ones
Yeah,
and to
yes. Oh,
separate them, that was the challenge with this one.
and you've
Because
done a
accents,
fabulous, absolute fabulous job.
yeah.
Fabulous job.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed it because I did really enjoy doing this one. Will there be more? Will this be a series
Okay.
like the other
Well,
one?
there are 5 books written, and the issue is, this book has got to sell well.
Right.
Because there's a lot of money invested in it and your
Yeah.
good time as well. So it's
Yeah.
really got to be a good seller. So I've spent quite a lot of money this month publicizing it, and it's popping up all over the place.
Great.
But yeah, people need to buy it and listen to it and review it, give me good reviews. And if that happens, we've got, I'm going to cover most of the money spent on it. Then of course I'll go into the next book in the blink of an eye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
Okay. Well,
which has got more twists and turns. This book never gets easy. If you think you've read the first book and you understand it all, you get the second book, you think, oh crikey, I never knew that was going to happen.
well, check it out. If you go to the link, if you're watching this on YouTube and you go down below there to the links, there are links there which will take you to Amazon, and you can get either the print version of the book, the ebook, or you can get the audiobook, which I was lucky enough to be selected by Dr. Tony Miller to be the narrator on this one. It is fabulous. Aside from books, what's next for you?
Oh, I've got quite a lot of work abroad. So three countries I'll be going to quite shortly: Lisbon in Portugal, South Africa, Africa, and perhaps Kazakhstan.
Oh, wow. Wow.
There
And
we
that's all
go.
with businesses as all speaking engagements?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, on
Well,
business.
it's a bit more than speaking engagements. It's explaining to companies how to right size and become more efficient.
Wow. Okay. So you're actually going to turn their businesses around, turn the
For
fortunes of the
sure,
business,
for
to make the
sure.
successful ones even more successful.
Well, I offered to do it for nothing, and I'll have 5% of what I save them. But nobody, absolutely nobody, has ever taken me up on it.
Ah, because they're business people and they
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they know. Well, that's great. The book is called My Love Affair with Olga. Where can we find out more about you, Dr. T?
Oh, you can go on the website, which is, it's www.tony-miller.com. Or if you go onto Kindle, it's all the books are listed there, except the American ones that are printed in America. And they're by Business Expert Press of America. So you can just go on their website, put my name in. It's always Dr. Tony Miller, and
Dr.
it will
Tony
find
Miller?
me.
You
Yeah,
Google it, you'll find him. AI may even help you, and it may
for
even help
sure.
save the world, but then again, we don't know. But AI gives us a hell of a story in My Love Affair with Olga by Dr. Tony Miller.
Graham, thank you very much.